Hello everyone, welcome back to Let Me Tell You Why podcast with your host Jeremy Jacobowitz. I am of course Jeremy Jacobowitz and we have a great episode for you today. It is all about my favorite food city. I know it's not New York. I know it's not Tokyo. It's actually Los Angeles, and I just got back from a trip there. So we're going to talk about all the restaurants that I loved. We're going to have a great conversation with LA Times food columnist Jenn Harris, diving deeper into the LA culinary food scene. There's probably nobody better on earth to talk to you about that. Plus a ton of restaurant news, new dishes, new restaurants opening, so many fun things there. And of course, what I'm into. But first, of course, if you're listening to this, thank you so much. Last week's episode, or 2 weeks ago, last episode, I want to say, did tremendously well. You guys loved it. So keep listening, keep watching, keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep sharing the podcast with everyone. This is a love letter and passion project just for you guys. So I extra super appreciate you guys being here. And as a token of my appreciation, of course, as always, merch is on sale, jeremyjshop.com with the exclusive code just for you guys. April 25, APRIL 25. You get 12% off everything on jeremyjshop.com. Plus all orders over $75 now get free shipping. It's going to be summer. You need some hats. I got dad hats. I got normal hats. You're going to need some fresh new teas. I got so many teas. Exile Sando teas. Let me tell you why teas. Toon King teas. Teas with my dog Honey on it. Endless things there. Coffee mugs. More stuff coming soon. Working on some shorts. So definitely check out jeremyjshop.com. So last episode, I talked about launching a Substack, and that is also going incredibly well. The growth has been tremendous in just like a week and a half of doing it. And I've been putting up some really fun stuff that's only going to live there on Substack. So if you're not signed up, sign up now. I'll put the link everywhere, wherever you're watching and listening to this. And just so you know, like what I posted there last week, which you may have missed, but you could still go check it out. 1, this ties into this episode, 7 must-eat breakfast burritos in LA. Breakfast burritos are becoming better in New York, and you guys know I have my favorites in New York, but they just do not compare to Los Angeles, and I put my 7 favorites there. They are listed in a guide form, description, what I ordered, videos, photos, plus a downloadable Google map of every single location. So when you go to LA, you could easily go eat all 7 of these breakfast burritos. Plus, I dug deeper into my brunch at Hellbender from the Rolos and Radio Bakery team. It was easily the best new brunch in New York City. It was incredible, and I chatted with their chef, Yair Herrera, sort of more about the menu, more about the food, more about the restaurant, and what makes it so incredible. So all of that is on Substack. Join me there. Okay, let's get into some restaurant news. First up, H&H Bagels, a classic here in New York City that actually just opened in LA too, and we're hearing some good things. New for the spring, they have launched a brand new spicy scallion cream cheese. That sounds incredible. I must try that. Okay, new in Industry City is Confidant, which has a seasonal rotating menu with a focus on dry-aged fish and meat. Some of the standouts include a tuna prosciutto, a prawn pot pie, and a 70-day dry-aged steak seasoned of togarashi and black pepper. And it comes with a compound butter and a whole head of confit garlic. This thing looks... I just kind of want that garlic also. Damn. Ikigai is launching a special, I hope that's how you said it, launching a special spring menu dedicated to cherry blossom season that will run from April 22nd to May 24th. Think duck with sakura, rhubarb and more, milk bread of lotus spring leaves and baby beets, and a sakura pale lantern cocktail. Sakura season, cherry blossom season, get there. Broken Shaker at the Freehand New York is back open for the summer. It's spring now. One of the best summer drinking spots is even better this year as they're adding new menu items from Jeremiah Stone and Fabian. I've never had to actually say his name. And I talk to Fabian all the time. But it's one of those things, the last name. Fabian Von Hosk? Because something. From Wild Air Claim. Yamada is a new kaiseki 10-course tasting menu, which just opens in Chinatown for $300 per person. You get an incredible meal from Chef. Man, everyone's names are so hard. It's ISAO from Chef Yamada. Chawanmushi looks incredible. Savory custard, king crab and uni, otoro pieces, and of course Wagyu's on the menu as well. Lalico is a new Georgian restaurant which just opened in the West Village. They actually have 3 chefs, and 2 of them solely working on their signature dishes of khachapuri, which is like the bread boat with like butter, eggs, and cheese, like just cheese, and the khinkali, which are hand-folded dumplings. That sounds delicious. The dumplings look so good. Tacos Chicos is opening April 15th. It's a new taqueria in East Village. They have 4 tacos on the menu: carnitas, carne asada, pollo. What is wrong with me? This is early. I woke up at 2:30 today, so my brain is kind of crazy. Pollo, whatever. And a veggie, which is a spinach and mushroom taco. It looks really fun. Probably have some good drinks. I'm into it. And finally, new on the bar menu at Brass, also from the team behind Wild Air, Fabian and Jeremiah, I'm not going to say the last names this time, is their special burger, which they are only making 10 of a night. So the burger is a beef bacon blend of pickles, butter lettuce, tomato, caramelized onions, and a secret sauce. This thing looks thick and juicy. Okay, let's talk about what you may have missed, my videos in the past week. Of course, I have the new must-eat list of LA. You could watch that on YouTube, you could watch it on Instagram, you could watch it on TikTok, and we're going to discuss that in a minute. But then also 5 must-eat foods at Citi Field. I found the best of the best. I went there, I got the best of the best. If you want to see the full list of everything new you could eat at Citi Field, and it is a very long list, check out the Substack. Also, I have a whole article there laying out everything new at Citi Field you could eat. But the 5 best things I made a video of. Egg salad sando in New York City. I went back to Cote. I keep saying Cote. I went back to Kokodak, which is the sister restaurant of Cote. My brain keeps saying Cote. I don't know why. Anyway, they have insane Korean fried chicken. I mean, caviar chicken nuggets, and now they have caviar chicken nuggets. Oh, now they have truffle chicken nuggets too. Goddamn. But when I was there, they were like, "We have a little surprise for you." I was like, "Oh, a surprise." And we waited for 20 minutes, and we were like, what surprise? We gotta go. Like, what is this surprise? And then I saw the chef bring out a tray of egg salad sandos, and I was like, oh my God. They're launching brunch soon, and they saw that I was coming in, and they're like, maybe let's have him test out our egg salad sando, because we might be putting this on a menu. And spoiler alert, it was good. And I want more surprises like that in my life. And then also, we talked about this earlier, but I went to Hellbender, best new brunch in New York City. Like a mix of like Mexican and American fusion. I hate calling it that because it's more just, it's Mexican food with the chef's own perspective on it, but whatever. It is insane. The pancakes are to die for. The tacos are to die for. Watch that video to see everything you got to order for brunch. Okay, but let's get to the main topic today, and that is LA being the best food city in the world. I'll preface it with this. I think that like New York City still has, if you're like, where are the best restaurants in the world? It's New York City. Tokyo is obviously so special. And there's obviously, there's great food cities all over. Those are just, obviously 2 of my favorites. But when I think about the food that I crave, and think about the food that I want, I always go back to LA. And it's cheating a little bit because LA is so massive. And what you consider LA is so massive that like, of course, they have a lot. But just like, what they do so well is just what I want. I mean, listen, Asian food in LA is on a different level. All kinds of Asian food, like across the spectrum, is unreal. Mexican food, of course, is unreal. Breakfast burritos are unreal. The sushi, the fish, the fresh produce, it is just all so good. Like, I think, I always think about it, like my list of like places I want to get to and excited to get to is almost bigger in LA than it is in New York. And every time I go out there, like I find a new favorite restaurant, and it's just so special. And like, even like, I don't know if like, I'll see people's lists of like even top food cities in America, and the people leave off LA. I'm like, people put Miami ahead of LA. No disrespect to Miami. They have some fantastic restaurants, but just on the scale of the size of Miami versus the size of LA, like you just can't compete. And I love it. So I made a brand new video, 11 must-eat places in LA. That's volume 3 of my best of LA lists. If you want to find more, I'm working on this. I know it keeps talking about Substack. I'm working on but because like I said last week, that's where like all the new guides are going. I'm working on it. It's taking me a little longer than I wanted to. A giant, comprehensive, everywhere to eat in LA guide. Breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner. It's very, very, very long. Get subscribed in Substack so you know when that drops, and we'll talk about that when it's officially out too. But that'll contain everything. But the last video is my favorites of what I ate in the past 3 trips there, from last June, last January, and then a few weeks ago. So quickly we'll go through them, but definitely watch the full video to learn everything about the restaurants and what I ate. But Jitlada is an absolute classic for Thai food. They even had, I didn't talk about this in the video, but they had a whole wall dedicated to The Simpsons. I guess Matt Groening loved going there, so he like drew all these special things for them, and it's a whole wall dedicated towards it. And you know what? If there's a wall dedicated to Simpsons at your restaurant, I'll probably love it. The Apple Pan, another LA institution known for their hickory burger and pies. Their tuna melt was actually my favorite. Sanang Dan. Oh, Korean food. Goddamn, Korean food in LA is just so good. We did the galbijim, and we added cheese, and we added tteokbokki, and the thing's $100, and it's a bowl just massive. And then they light it in fire at the table, but it's not a gimmick. It is just like deep, rich, beautiful flavors coming through with all that beef and sweet and heat, and then you got the kimchi in there too. Oh, just an incredible dish. Garlic Cafe. I've loved so much there. The tuna sandwich is an elite tuna sandwich, an insane breakfast burrito. And this past trip, I finally got their Caesar wrap, which is so good. They had corn, which tasted amazing. It's a blackened chicken Caesar wrap of corn into it. Donna's is think New York City red sauce Italian with like LA vibes and some of the best garlic bread in the whole world. Courage Bagel. They started it. They're the OGs. They did the LA style bagels before anyone else. They are what everyone is trying to replicate. And I went back and I crave it. I crave it. And we talked about Apollo before. I really like Apollo. It doesn't, you gotta, if you love Apollo, you have to try Courage. So you realize why I was Apollo's good, but not top tier, because I've had Courage and you need to have it. The Benjamin Hollywood is Hollywood's hottest restaurant. Sexy vibes, great drinks, insane burger, orange chicken wings, just a really fun menu, just a good vibe. Giada is a New Jersey style Italian deli. They have a few locations, but I also tried the chicken Caesar wrap. They also have a great tuna sandwich, but then I also just tried their chicken cutlet Caesar wrap. That thing was delicious, super crunchy, a good tang in that Caesar dressing. Simone in Venice is it's a restaurant with Panama food. Panamanian food, how would you say that? I don't know. But I guess I had never had food from Panama because I didn't understand how culturally diverse it was. It was influences from Africa and China, and what else did we get? And fish. Just really, really little so much influence on this one menu, which I thought was really interesting and great food. It was a beautiful space too, half indoor, half outdoor, really vibey, very, very LA, very Venice. River, that's RVR, might be my new favorite restaurant in LA. It is an izakaya right on Abbot Kinney in Venice also. Just good vibes, great food. Duck meatballs, hand rolls, the tuna hand rolls, so good. The chicken karaage, a Japanese sweet potato dish, a total dream restaurant. Sat there by myself, had a fucking beer, and I felt good. And Sobane is the hottest breakfast burrito in LA right now, so I went there too. Their honey chipotle aioli is unbelievable. You got to get there too. Okay, so to dive deeper into the LA food scene, let's chat with Jenn Harris. She is LA born and bred. She's an LA Times food columnist, and I probably get the most recommendations of where to go eat from her. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you should. She does a roundup every single week of what's the best things she ate in LA. That we were everywhere, but since she's in LA, and you want to be following her, she finds the best spots, and nobody knows LA food like Jenn Harris. So sort of big picture right now, what is happening in the LA food scene? What's exciting to you about what's happening?
For a minute there, and even still for a little bit, we were only seeing kind of these big, deep-pocketed openings, places that are coming from elsewhere or, from the East Coast. We had a couple big Italian restaurants like Maria and Alba open here. and places that are already established here, opening up like other locations. But I think now we're starting to see more like independent restaurants coming up again. More stuff like Rasaruma, which is a new Malaysian place from Chef Johnny Lee, who had Pearl River Deli in Chinatown. That's really exciting. Places like Vin Folk, this like super cute, very tiny, packed like wine bar restaurant in Manhattan Beach. So kind of more of the like experimental, smaller, wild child restaurants that I think LA has always been known for are starting to open up again, which has been exciting to see.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I guess because like I'm over here and I travel a few times a year. I guess like that wasn't even my perspective. My perspective is always like, oh, what excites me so much are those smaller places because like my sort of like jumping off point to the whole conversation of like when I tell people, oh, LA is my favorite food city. I always say to like, I think New York City is always going to have the better restaurants. But I think just like the way I like to eat and like what excites me more about these restaurants, I think is like what is happening in LA, if that kind of makes sense. I mean, my favorite restaurant that I've been to in the past few years, and now my favorite, I mean, excluding all the insanity that I did in Japan and Asia and everything, like Bavel, I love. And then I went to River last time I was out there, and like I was like, oh, this is if I was to open a restaurant, I mean I couldn't because of me, but like I would want to open a restaurant that is River.
River is fantastic. River is so good. Every single small plate, every single bowl of soup, like the cocktails, that's just like an excellent restaurant that opened in Venice.
I didn't even make it to the ramen. I mean, it's by myself, and by the time I got through everything else, I'm like, I'll have to come back. It's fine. Like all the small plates, and even just like sitting there with the beer, I'm like, this is the vibe that I want, the feeling I want, the food, just fantastic. Like, it's something that like you could open the same concept in New York, but I don't think it would feel the same, and I don't think you're going to get the same produce and ingredients, which is what makes those restaurants so special. I mean, you kind of can, but like just not the way they do it there.
Yeah, that restaurant is like a quarter of it is vibes, which, you know, and it's on Abbot Kinney. It's like in Venice. It's a very popular area. You're like steps from the beach. So I feel like, yeah, that would be hard to duplicate kind of anywhere else for sure.
What about like when you think of the classics, like what's worth it to you if someone's coming to LA? Like what do they actually have to try?
Oh my gosh. Langer's Deli.
Oh, the best.
I know you have.
You took me there.
Yes, I did. I know you have great pastrami in New York, of course, but like there's something so special about Langer's Deli and that double baked rye bread and Norm Langer himself. There's like so much history in that deli and character, and that's like a number one must visit for me. And also Gelada, like
which I went to this past time too.
Yeah, that Jazz's Thai restaurant in Thai Town. There are so many dishes like the Morning Glory, the crispy Morning Glory salad. All of the curries, and she's grabbing a lot of the herbs and chilies from her own backyard. Like that is just that's another one where like those two restaurants like really are LA to me. And Marisco Jalisco, like the crispy shrimp tacos from that truck are just like so Los Angeles and so encapsulate why this is such a special food city.
What about like what are some types of cuisines that people may not realize are like thriving in LA right now?
Ooh. I think that Filipino food is something thriving in LA. Has been for a while, but I think that's something that people might find unexpected. Our little Ethiopia is amazing, and so I feel like Ethiopian food is something like that will make LA like a real destination for Ethiopian dining. I don't know. We kind of have everything, which is like it feels like such a luxury, and you can really find anything you like. Regional Mexican cuisine if you want Oaxacan, it doesn't, it's just it's crazy. We have everything.
Well, getting to like even what like I didn't feel like was there for a while, but is now becoming a trend and has become like a discourse with New York City to me is like the LA style bagel.
Oh,
like,
so many.
Do you have thoughts on that in terms like to me still like I like saying they're different things. And I think like what they're doing is crushing it. Now we have like Apollo in New York, which is sort of like taking that template. And I've done Courage, I did Gian, and I did Layla. To me, I think Courage blows them away,
Oh,
honestly.
okay.
I,
Okay.
is that a hot take?
No, I like
Okay.
Gian a lot. Like Gian
Okay.
Isaac, I love all three of those bagels that you just mentioned. I find them I think you could say overall they're all LA, but they're all different too, so I like them each for their own things, but I hear you. Yeah.
I mean, I also made a video with my complaints about LA style, and it's which is funny why when Apollo opens here, people are going nuts, and I was like, but they like took the good that I liked about it, but also like, I think an open faced bagel is acceptable to eat at home. I don't want an open faced bagel when I'm at the place because I find that they pile it up and half of it falls off,
Okay.
and I
Valid.
also find that the wait times, especially at Courage, are absolutely bonkers.
Oh yeah, it's a commitment. Like it's like a hours long commitment.
uh,
You have to bring someone you like, and you have to have a full charge on your phone, and you just kind of like you just know you're settling in for it. Yeah.
Or you do what I did, which is I got there at 7 in the morning on a Saturday. It still took 45 minutes, but
I'm
there
not
was
doing
no one
that.
online.
Yeah, yeah,
They, it just is. I try to tell myself I'm not in New York. Things just move at a different pace in LA.
It's a lot slower. It's a lot slower. Yeah. Yeah.
What? So I ended up out there. I literally landed the second the fire started. Like, what kind of impact has that had on the restaurant community as a whole? Still, a few months after.
Wow. I mean, there's so many restaurants that, there were a lot of restaurants we lost because of the fire or they actually burnt down. And then there are also restaurants that are in the surrounding areas that have not been able to reopen yet. And their future is kind of in limbo at the moment because it's like, can they afford to stay closed? Can they afford to reopen? The recovery from the fires has been extremely slow. It's and scary. So it really devastated. And we're seeing like there's a restaurant, a fantastic restaurant that was in Pasadena called Bar Chalou, and the owners are moving to a different state and opening a restaurant there because it's just not sustainable to be here anymore for some people. And it was hard before that. California, Los Angeles especially, is a very expensive place to run a business. So, and as you know, January is already a slow time for restaurants. So this was just like triple, quadruple whammy of not good. So yeah, people are still coming out of this and figuring out how they're going to recover. But also, it just was like I was just so proud of how not just mostly though the hospitality industry in Los Angeles just like showed up for each other and the community in general. Like these are chefs who may have lost their businesses and also lost their houses, and they were just like, showing up for World Central Kitchen or just themselves in like smaller groups, just figuring out how can we feed people. Our walk-in is full of food. It's gonna go bad anyway. Like let's just feed people with it. So the way that industry kind of put what they personally needed aside to help other people was just astounding. I'm still amazed by it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we are obviously in the bubble. We understand like the impact that restaurants have on the community and the city as a whole. And hopefully that just like proved it to everyone else is like, you could complain about all this or everything forever, but like realize like what these businesses mean to your city beyond just feeding you. It's everything. It's bringing everyone together. It is a community, and like it is such an integral part of community too. And hopefully that's the takeaway from everyone else that didn't realize that to begin with.
Yeah, and I hope that people know how important it is to keep going out, and to keep supporting restaurants. And I know funds are super tight right now, so just like I just hope that anyone who is in a position to do so can, keep doing that.
A more fun thing.
Okay.
Everyone, so I mean, I made a video about this before too a few years ago, and it's funny to me that everyone constantly wants to compare In-N-Out and Shake Shack because the jumping off point to me is that they shouldn't be compared because they're doing very different things. Do you have a take on this discourse, I guess, of which should we even compare them and why everyone wants to compare them, or do you have a favorite? I mean, you're an LA girly, so I feel like you might have a favorite, but
Yeah, I love, I love In-N-Out. I grew up on it. So if someone is going to ask me to compare the two, I'm obviously going to pick In-N-Out. But like Shake Shack is not a fast food burger to me. It's more like a fast casual. So if you wanted to compare Shake Shack to like Five Guys or I don't know, some Habit, or you know what I mean? Like that's the type of burger like category that I put it in. So yeah, but I love In-N-Out. Like I never tire of it. I just like in college I actually lived, my apartment was across the street from a parking lot where there was an In-N-Out, and so like I smelled it every day walking to school and I still was not like tired. I probably ate it like once a week. So I don't eat it as much anymore, but like there's something to be said for like a really great In-N-Out burger. And that like the iceberg lettuce is always like super fresh and crisp and abundant. I love spread, like which is the Thousand Island dressing that they make. I like that you can go crazy and add raw and grilled onions and like pepper. I love the whole In-N-Out experience. So I will always choose In-N-Out, but I don't know that those two need to be pitted against each other all the time.
And they constantly are. And people, then it always comes down to like, well, Shake Shack is 2 times more expensive. But like, as you said, they're just doing.
The patty is like double the size.
Well, that's it too, right? Exactly. Yeah.
And the fry, I don't love In-N-Out fries. I never have. That is something that In-N-Out is like severely lacking. And you have to get them like well done and with a bunch of stuff on top in order to eat them. Right. So I do think Shake Shack, if you're going to compare something between the two that I think is better, I think Shake Shack has better fries. But Shake Shack also has chicken, like a totally different thing.
100%. And even if like we're going to compare fries, like I mean, I wouldn't want either one of those fries if I was picking from like a fast casual or a fast food place.
Yes,
like
not great.
Yeah, exactly. But great. It is funny that people constantly want to complain about both. I'm like, well, listen, I chose Shake Shack, but I'm an East Coast guy.
That's your thing. Like
but there's nothing bad about In-N-Out. I think it's great. I think everyone should experience it and try it. But the hate between the two.
Nobody needs to. Yeah, if I'm like someone's forced me to pick between the two, I obviously have an answer. But
what do you think is like the most iconic LA restaurant?
Iconic LA restaurant. Oh man. I don't know that I could pick one. I mean, we have some really old, amazing ones like Musso and Frank Grill, and or like Casa Vega. It's just they're so. Ooh. I don't know that I could pick one. If you gave me if you narrowed it down a little for like type of food, that's the thing. I think if you gave me a type of cuisine, I might be able to pick one for each each type of cuisine. I don't know if there's one like blanket iconic restaurant for all of Los Angeles that I would award that to.
All right, thanks again, Jen, for joining me. Make sure you follow Jen. Make sure you read all of her columns. Make sure you watch her on YouTube. I love the LA Times Food YouTube. I think we talked about this in a podcast before, but I love the YouTube channel. They don't upload enough, frankly, for me, but what they do is just like has such a unique, fun, kind of weird perspective on things and all their videos. It kind of like runs through that, and I love all of them. But also, before we go, let's talk about what I'm into this week. All right, music. This is such a deep cut, but I listened again to the Tough Enough 2 soundtrack. So if you don't know what Tough Enough is, it's so nerdy. WWF and WWE used to have a reality competition show in the early 2000s called Tough Enough, where they looked for wrestlers to sign with the company. It aired on MTV, and it was like pretty gritty and real. This is before like reality shows became too fake. I know the irony of talking about this while discussing wrestling. But it's before so highly produced, is before like reality people like knew what reality stars meant. So they were like actually real, but we're not talking about that. We're actually talking about the soundtrack. Now, kids, if you don't know, movies and TV shows used to actually put out albums with kind of songs that would play or like have something to do with the movie or the TV show. And because this is MTV, they actually had some great artists. So like if you are a teenager with angst in the 2000s, you will love the Tough Enough 2 soundtrack. Listen to these artists, all right? Limp Bizkit, Cold, Trust Company, Weezer, Queens of the Stone Age, and Unwritten Law. Some of the best of 2000, some of the best ever. This is like a top 5 album of all time. Go through it. It will give you all the feelings, and you will love it. And it's on Spotify, so I'll link it here, but go listen to it. And then on YouTube, so one of my favorite YouTubers is Moist Critical, aka Penguin Zero, aka Charlie. So he does like live streams, kind of just talking about whatever. He'll deep dive on stuff. He'll go through drama stuff. He'll talk about what's popular, like all that fun stuff. I usually don't watch the streams. I'll kind of do like the catch-up videos because his streams are so long and they play all night. But this whole weekend, I spent watching multiple of his streams because he's playing the new indie video game, Schedule 1, which is a... what's the best way to describe it? It is a drug dealer game. Oh, what's the word to call it? You play a drug dealer and you're like building your empire, but like that's it. It is like very realistic in terms of like what you have to do. You were like literally like making the drugs and hiring people and blah, blah, blah. A drug dealer simulator. That's the word I was trying to find. And honestly, I don't even want to play it. It looks like a game that will hurt my brain, me trying to play just because of like all the things I had to think about. But when Charlie plays video games, it is so fucking funny. He is hilarious. And I just love watching him play the game. So I will link to one of those videos here. Check out Charlie. Check out all of his stuff. If you want to stay up on like internet culture, also follow Charlie. Like he helps me understand everything that I do not understand because he's like a little older. He's able to like add a perspective and explain it to me in a way that a 37-year-old can get it. So love Charlie. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, listening. This was a fun episode. I got some fun stuff in the works for you. Also, subscribe, follow, share this podcast, like it, leave a comment if you can leave a comment somewhere. Leave a 5-star review if you're listening to this. You can leave a 5-star review, and I will talk to you next week.